What's up? It's your boy, Jamie Hunter, aka Jay Hunterville. I got Del Pesh here.
Hey, what's going on?
We are the Vent Podcast. On November 26th, Northbridge Music Group will be having an event called Han Fest. It's going to be at the Drake Underground, 7 p.m. Get your tickets. It's on their page, the Northbridge Music Group. And we have one of the performers here today named Mira.
Mira, hey, what's up?
How's it going?
It's wonderful to be here. It's beautiful afternoon, surrounded by creatives and local talent and movers and pushers of culture. So thank you.
Thank you for sitting here with us. What got you into music? Like, what is?
I grew up a third generation musician. So my mom and my grandpa, my whole family, they all have a legacy out in Ukraine.
Oh, okay.
Holding down the classical music vibes,
Nice.
the chamber music, the orchestras. So I grew up under like a pretty strict regimen of competitions and exams and really like vigorous learning in terms of my keyboard schooling. And then later on in life, maybe in my like early 20s, I realized like, oh wow, I can do my own thing. I can take everything that I learned and all the technicality and my understanding of knowledge and actually apply it to the music that matters to me most, which is neo soul and jazz fusion, hip hop, R&B. So yeah, I started digging into myself and into my sound and went to jazz school and have been continuing to grow and learn ever since.
Jazz school. And whereabouts in jazz school? And the one.
I went to Humber
Nice.
here in Toronto.
Okay.
And, it totally kicked my butt. But it gave me a lot more in the toolbox. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
When you brought up keyboarding, because I played a little bit of piano myself,
Nice.
and saxophone and all that stuff.
Oh, nice.
So my question is like, do you play by ear or is it you're more of a theory person?
I definitely am more of a theory nerd. That left brain part of me, since it's been activated from such a young age, it just is kind of naturally what I'm more, akin to. So I usually want to know what's going on. I want to know the movement. I want to know the math behind the music. But I am seeing the reward and benefit of being just following your ear, and I'm trying to do more and more of that.
Right.
Yeah.
I hear that.
And with following your ear, how do you describe your music sound?
How do I describe my music?
Yeah.
I would describe it as a mixture of baby making music with a message. Always pretty boom bap heavy. So I really love classic era D'Angelo and Erykah Badu and Common and the ones who really raised me and in terms of that sound. But then also I have a lot of love for the new styles of production that are coming out now. This new electronic bounce, house bounce vibe. Just get the bodies moving. So we're trying to do a little bit of both.
Okay.
You brought up Erykah Badu and the Ariel stuff. My question is like, which artist would you want to work with first?
Wow, that's a really hard question. That's a really...
Okay, I'll say top 3. To make it easier, just a bit.
Boy, I don't even know where to begin. I guess, there's this artist named Jordan Rakai. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of him. I love this man to death. He's incredible. Would love to work with him. I would want to be in the studio with Jill Scott.
Okay.
That would be if I could even just breathe her air. Probably Pharrell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pharrell Williams.
Two beats in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, in terms of what's your workflow in terms of artistry? Like, do you sing your a cappella first before you hear the beat, or do you go with the beat first and then the words just flow through, as you say?
Right. Well, it changes with every instance. For me, writing songs has always been a form of catharsis for me. It's usually a private thing that is not really like, I don't write it because I'm thinking about how I'm going to share it. It's usually just the way I process my emotions and what I'm going through. So it usually just starts with me. It can go two ways. I'm either at the keys and I'm moving around with some gospel chords, or I'm just and then something starts coming out.
Okay.
Or I hear melodies in my head, and my voice notes recorder is my best friend. Every artist should like the voice notes recorder is everything, because when that comes in, whether you're in the car or you're like in the grocery lineup, and that little ditty comes in, you want to get that lick down and then come back to it. So usually I start slowly hashing away at these ideas and etching into them, and I give them a little more time and space.
Okay.
Yeah. But usually music first.
Nice.
Words come later.
As you can see, there's a lot of soul music, a lot of soul artists, a lot of different music coming out, like Snow Allegra, her, all these different type of like neo soul, different type of music. Like, if there's anything when it comes to the industry that you would like to like maybe adjust or change, what do you think that would be?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I'm actually really excited about where we're at right now. I feel like a lot of walls are coming down, and there's a lot of room for people to just go in their own lane fully.
Right.
And as we get in more and more into these niche genres, and these niche genres start to garner more following and kind of come out from the background, I think that permission is only just getting greater, and people are dialing in their style more.
Right.
In terms of what I would want to see different, this is kind of a little bit of a nerd approach, but when we're talking about neo soul and jazz fusion, the type of people who make this music, and oftentimes it's musicians' music, right? This is music for musicians, and so sometimes we have the tendency to get a little too technical. Like if it's not like a flat 13, flat 9 chord, it can't fly.
Those Cantonese to me. I don't.
You know what I mean? Like, well, you know what I mean. Like the tendency to get overly geeked out on some of these voicings and these sounds, versus just like sometimes allowing like a little bit more of like a simple pop progression or a simple feel, or we can get complicated with it.
Okay.
So is it safe to say that you like live band more than track when it comes to certain things?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I like live band because of the soul, the feel, and everything. Like sometimes track is hard. It's usually just scheduled most of the time. So I love hearing someone that likes
like in a
live
box
band.
in a way.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you get that. For me, it's all about the element of spontaneity. Like in my live sets, I always leave room for the freestyling, because it's gonna come out. I'm gonna wanna riff off the crowd, and I know the musicians are gonna want to do that as well. So that magic that can happen is amazing.
Now, what's as you're doing your show with the freestyles, what is your favorite song to perform?
I don't really have a favorite song. It's just whatever's in the moment. Yeah, and all my sets are always different, and I usually make them in a very last minute way. Yeah. So it's usually I could have a whole idea of what I want to play, and then I get up there and I'm like, oh no, this is a different vibe. And then we just
you go with the energy with the audience.
Yeah, I have a loose idea of what I want to do, and if my collaborators are there with me, they know that we're like riding on the edge of our seat. If you're doing it with Mira, so they're ready for it, and usually we'll just play it by ear.
Since you love live band, because I love live band as well, what would you say is like, because it's drums, keys, bass, whatever. My favorite is bass. So like,
have bass.
What would you say is your favorite instrument that like if you were gonna set up a live band, they would have to be like a master of?
Like that's your mandatory.
100% Rhodes. Rhodes, electric. My keys guy or gal. That's the most important thing for me, for sure, is like, because that's what can bring everything up. The synergy between a good keys player and a vocalist. You don't need anything else, because they can hold down the lower end, the bass. They can create all those harmonic textures with you. And
That's true. What was one of the hard lessons you learned when it came to like doing music in the music industry?
I feel like something that I'm continuously learning is to it's a journey of seeing something through. It's for myself, and I know for a lot of artists, it's not that we don't have the talent or we don't have the ability. It's actually the organizational skills that can really, really limit you in bringing that project to its full fruition. And
Like the production line.
on that end, but also even just, I mean, everything takes time. It takes dedication, you know? Like I know for myself, the high of writing music is when that thing just gets channeled in and, okay, boom, I got a dope chorus. Okay, great, I got a verse. But the hard part is sometimes sitting with that and putting it all together and thinking about the arrangement and, you know, like steeping in it and giving it that time, because it takes time. It takes time and it takes a certain frame of mind as well. So I'm just learning now, after years of doing things on the cuff and on the edge of my seat, as I was saying earlier, I'm just learning now how to really, really give it, you know, the energy it deserves.
Okay. You want to go on?
Oh, I have like, what was the other question? Because you brought up that. I'll just go to my my thing. So, dead or alive artists, when it comes to R&B, like what would be your top dead or alive artists? Like if your go-to music, like when you're on the road, what would be your go-to songs?
Like this has to be in the aux chord. Top 5.
As you're driving
As you're
or
driving.
whatever.
Yeah.
Well, probably D'Angelo.
Okay.
As I was saying earlier, Erykah Badu, just any discography with her in it. Man, that's such a hard one because I'm always moving around.
Right.
Did you say top 3?
No. I just said just general.
just
general.
like
Like,
general.
you know, when you go on the road, when you're, you know, at home, whatever, the general songs that you're just like, you know what, this is my go-to playlist or go-to song.
Yeah, I can't really narrow. I mean, yeah, I would say D'Angelo. Anybody from that crew, Questlove, The Roots. You know, if I'm bringing it, yeah, that's always gonna be like my go-to. Any boom bap, Jay Dilla. You know what, Jay Dilla. I'm gonna just say that. Yeah, Jay
Rest in
Dilla.
peace. Rest in peace.
100%. Yeah, that's probably the top, like one of the most important people in my life for sure.
Jay Dilla, man. Damn.
Jeez.
Yeah, the Dilla thing actually threw me off. Still, I'm not gonna lie. Now, what is the average day in your music production? So, are you chasing down show bookers? Are you chasing down people you want to collaborate with?
I'm actually in a really interesting place right now. I'm calling this like my budding, growing phase. I'm in a voraciously hungry learning state.
Okay.
So I'm actually, before this show, I wasn't really playing. I hadn't played a show for like most of the summer, minus a couple here and there. For me, I'm studying with a jazz ensemble right now. I'm just working on building my beat and my production understanding of the hardwares and the software and my gear and the sound that I want to go through and the different synths that I'm interested in. So I'm just, I'm doing is I'm getting really particular, and I'm learning as much as I can so that even if I can't do it myself, I can effectively communicate to my collaborators exactly what it is that I want. So right now I'm just learning, but it's coming. Music is pouring out of me at the same time naturally when you're spending so much time in an inquisitive state.
Yeah, right.
A little creation comes in here and there. So
It's good to hear that like you like to learn your music and learn the technicalities of everything, like because a lot of people don't know the technical terms. So you'll be performing at Hanfest. What is next after Hanfest? What do you have coming out? Or?
I'm excited to release some singles.
Okay.
Yeah, in the next couple months. I would say probably by end of January. I've written.
Top of the new year.
Yes, it's coming. It's getting clearer and clearer. You know what my sound is and who I want to work with and what my message is, and I just want to produce a really impeccable body of work. Okay. So slowly, it's coming. Yeah.
And I know you say you're still working on it, but what? Just as a final thought, what is your message? Who are you?
It's a good question. I'm really concerned right now on a lot of tips about where we're going as a species.
Oh, okay.
I go into some heavy things, you know. I can move around a lot. Like for me, love life and relationships and the world of relating that's my main muse. Like a lot of my songs are of a more sensual nature. They're of a more introspective into the nature of relationships. Right. But then where that real passion and that fire and heaviness and that energy come from is me really asking like myself big questions of what are we doing? Who are we looking to? You know, where are we going? What because there's a lot for us to be thinking and talking about right now, and I think the more we put it into music without being corny,
right? Yeah, without being
the better,
or preachy,
Yeah. No, you know, none of that. Yeah.
So where can people find you?
I do most of my things on Instagram. IG, shout out. So you can follow me. If you look up Mira Méla, Miramela, you'll find me there. I'm always posting videos, whether it's with my gospel choir in the background or like producing a little beat with a homie or just little ad-libs here and there or upcoming shows, if I'm DJing or playing, you can find me there.
Okay.
All right. We just want to say thank you
for
being here on this interview with us. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you, Jamie.
And just remember, HANFest is on November 26th. Get your tickets now. It starts at 7
p.m. sharp.
At Northbridge Music Group's page. And this is the event. We out. Peace.
Peace.
Yes.